recall the distributive property. So when we have a pair of parentheses, inside the parentheses, either we have a minus or plus, and treat the parentheses again as like as a box. So we have a number in front of it, which has the multiplication. Then we need to distribute that number to everything inside. And well, so the first case is when we distribute 2 to both of them, we're going to get 2 times 5x and then minus 2 times 3. So the number 2 is distributed. I'm going to use the black color for everything inside. That way you can see better. So the red color 2 is distributed to both of items inside the box. So we have 2 times 5x, that's 10x, and minus 2 times 3 is 6. Now, if what's outside the box has a variable x to x third, so that means we have to distribute not only 2 but also x to the third. So we're gonna, after we distribute, we're going to get, let me first write down what's in the box. So minus 3, and then we're gonna distribute that 2x, so which means you make 2 copies of it, 1 copy for 5x, 1 copy for that 3 there. Bring down the minus sign. So now we multiply, and which in the previous video we already talked about these, how to multiply. So we multiply 2 and 5 to get 10. X third times x. X means x to the first. So 3 copies of x times 1 copy of x, that gives us 4 copies of x. And same thing here. So we're going to multiply negative 2 and 3. That gives us negative 6. X third, there's no other variable to multiply. So we bring that down. Okay, so here, not only, so we did apply the exponent rules on this question, and we did do multiplication here because multiplication goes before subtraction. And we do have a little bit of subtraction involved here, but notice that x4 and x third, they are not like terms, which means we cannot subtract them. We do have subtraction, but we cannot do it, and so we just leave it. Now, the next one will be very similar. So we're distributing negative 6a. And in the box, we have 3 items. So first, I'm going to write down negative 6a times, and negative 6a times, and negative 6a times. And times, and then I'm going to bring down everything in the box, 5a squared. And then there's, notice there's another negative 6a in the box. And then there's a negative 7. Okay, so negative 6a is distributed to put in front of all 3 of them. Now let's simplify. Again, now we have, that's why we have to apply the exponent rules to do these. So we multiply negative 6 and 5 to get negative 30. A times a squared, a third, because 1 copy plus 2 copies, 3 copies. Negative 6 times negative 6, positive 36, and a times a squared, because 1 copy plus another copy is 2 copies. And negative 6 times negative 7, that is positive 42, and bring down that a. And again, we're supposed to do addition here, but a third, a squared, a, they're all different. So just like you have maybe apples, oranges, and bananas, you cannot add them together. So now let's look at these 2 examples. Now in the first example, notice that we have 2 pairs of princes. So first we need to distribute. In order to get them out of the box, we have to distribute 3 to both of them. As you can see, I have 3 times 2x, 3 times 4y. So the minus sign, I bring it down. And for the second pair of princes, the number in front of it is negative 6. So we're going to put negative 6 in front of both. And again, between the number we distribute and stuff inside, the terms inside, it's always multiplication. So 3 is outside, 2x is inside. Between them, it's times. 3 is outside, 4y is inside, times between them. Negative 6 is outside, x is inside, times between them. Negative 6 is outside and outside the box, and 5y is inside the box, so between them it's times. But the inside the parentheses, we have minus, we bring it down. And here, the plus sign, I actually kind of right here, I just omit it. because it's -6 times positive 5y, that little plus sign. I should bring down, but because plus sign can be omitted. Okay, so now let's work out each one. So multiplication, 3 times 2 is 6. -3 times 4 is -12. And -6, there's nothing to multiply here, bring down. And -6 times positive 5 is -30, and bring down y. So now we do have subtraction to do. And this time we are able to find the like terms. For example, 6x and 6x, they are like terms, different from previous examples. We didn't have any like terms. And also -12y, -30y, they are also like terms. So we should be able to combine them. Now 6x minus 6x, because 6 minus 6 is 0. So you get a 0x. But 0x means 0 times x, and you get 0, because anything times 0 is 0. And next -12y minus 30y, when we combine like terms, we only work on the numbers in front of them. So -12 minus 30, that gives us -42. And because you can treat this as $12 debt plus $30 debt, that's -42. Okay, the last example here. So we have a pair of parentheses inside the brackets. So if you remember from one of the previous examples, we want to start from the innermost. Okay, so first we distribute this -1 to everything inside the parentheses. Start over here. So we have 3 times 4x. And -1 is distributed to 5x. So I'm going to use the red color, -1 times 5x. And then we have another -1, because we have to distribute -1 to also +2 times +2. Well, I'm just going to get rid of my plus sign, just put 2 here. Okay, so now we're going to work this out and combine like terms. But seems there's another part right here, and this part is independent from the first part. And so whatever you work out here doesn't affect the first part. So we can go ahead and work out in the same step. So this time we're distributing -4. So -4 is going to be distributed to this pair of parentheses. So we're going to do -4 times 2x. And then we have another -4 distribute to +1. So again, +1, I'm going to just use times 1. Okay, so now inside the brackets, so we can work this out. And notice that 4x minus 5x, because -1 times 5 is -5. -1 times 2 is -2. So you could, if you could have worked this out in the previous step, so that will save you a step. So right here, 4 times -2 gives me -8, bring down x. -4 times 1 is -4. So next, since we still have another box, we have to get rid of. So I'm going to distribute this 3 to everything inside. Now, if you can do this in your mind, you don't have to, you can skip a step. So you do 3 times 4, that's 12, bring down x. 3 times -5, -15, bring down x. 3 times -2, -6. If you are able to do this in your mind. If you are not, write down the step, put a 3 in front of each of them, times 4x, times -5x, times -2, well, that should be plus between them. And then you bring down -8x and 4. So finally, we combine these x's. 12 minus 15 is -3. -3 minus 8 is -11x. And the -6 minus 4, that's -10. Because $6 debt plus $4 debt is $10 debt.